Hello everybody on this cold January day. I am going to attempt to make something I made a few years ago. And I'm going to see if I can still remember how. If I can't, you'll never see this. If I can, you'll get to see it. Thank you all for coming. Thank you if this is your first time. Thank you if you came back. I do appreciate all of you. What I am going to make are what I call worn out tags. Isn't that what we all want? Just worn out tags that look like they've been through the ringer. And if you've got some, I've got manila tags. I don't remember if I bought these from somebody. I know I didn't buy them outright. But I may have bought them like when somebody was getting rid of their craft supplies or something like that. I've got a huge amount of these. And, but you could just make them out of a manila folder. I mean, you definitely don't need them, like this. I mean, you can make them out of, you know, cardstock paper. You can make whatever you've got, give it a whirl, you know. I have these, and I have probably 100 of them, different sizes, so it's like I'm going to use them. I'm just going to do 3 or 4 right now and then show you what we're going to do. And then I'm going to sit here and crumble some up until my hands quit hurting. Start hurting. They're not hurting yet, so let's see if we can make them hurt. I have ground espresso and I've got walnut stain, and I'm not sure which I'm going to like best because, as I said, I don't remember. This is not my idea. Whose idea it is, I don't know. I saw this on a video, like I said, years ago. And if you see, I'm kind of tearing it in places. And I just thought they looked really cool for a very vintage journal. And I always like to do front and back because these will probably be something that will be stuck in a pocket, and it's kind of like doing the back of your hair, you know. So there's one all stained up, ready to go. The next one I'm gonna do ground espresso, see which one I like. Just to see. It's cold, so I've got my old black sweatshirt on. And these will all look different because, you know, we're not going to wrinkle them up the same. And I like making those tears so it almost looks like they burnt. You know, this looks like it's been in somebody's billfold for ages. If you got some old pictures you wanted to put on this, that would look cool. I'm not going to decorate too many of them, and we'll save that decoration. Oh, I wanted to use this. See, I almost, and I just used on my dark inks. I know you're not to do this, but I just use the same stamper, you know. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. My husband went trapping, checking traps. The coons are eating us out. And so they're trapping coons. And it's more of, now this is how things work here on this farm, now that we're retired. It's my son's idea And when he can go with Jackson, he does. But he's given the job to Jackson. I think I like this darker better. It may be because, well, I'll do 2 of them because then I'll have the darker. It may be because I started out with the lighter tag. So we'll start out with, let's see, there's one I never did unring. See, welcome to my head. We know I have a brain. They checked that out of the, when I came, when I was out of the coma. You know, make sure it was still working. But, oh, there are days. My husband always tells people when I'm do something weird, he goes, welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. My grandson came up earlier wanting a shredder for the KitchenAid. The kids don't have one, and Andy was trying to shred cheese to see if how it went, and I guess they don't have a shredder. No for Christmas. And you know, we're going to be leaving here in a couple of weeks, so you know, they're not going to need it in the near future. And in all honesty, I've never tried it. I hope it works for them. I can't have regular cheese because of my alpha-gal, so we don't go through that much, so we just buy the shredded. I'm not shredding cheese. Good grief, that would take crafting time. We can't have that. Okay, now let's look at these. I don't know that it matters much, do you? You can tell me what you think, but I'm just going to kind of go back and forth. Now I don't wet these. I don't know if that would work better or not. You can try it and see if it does or not. I've kind of been thinking Emerson would come up, but they go back to school tomorrow and she hasn't yet, but they have such a busy social life. I tell you, her mom will say, I haven't been home all weekend. I want to say, yeah, but you went to 2 ball games you didn't have to go to. And then you had a barbecue at somebody else's house. And then you were invited to these people. And then you went shopping one day. I don't care. I don't mind at all. She's young. She needs to do that. But I chuckle at myself because they've got a wonderful social life, better than I ever had. And I am happy for them because the girlfriends she has are so sweet. And one of them is married to a good friend of Andy's as well. And if they ever needed somebody, those girls would be there in a heartbeat. So, you know, I just chuckle at myself over it because they do have a good social life, you know? When we first were married, there were 3 couples, I think. See, I don't even remember. Let's do one of these. And we get together and play cards. And then a couple of them's kids started school. And, you know, right there goes the social life. You get busy, you've got bedtimes. You know, when you got tiny babies or they're at home, you can let them sleep in. And that's just kind of how life is. I have a better social life now than I did back then. You know, because although I have to say my social life is curbed a bit because my best friend's gone to Texas for a month. And we can't go out for lunch, and we can't go running, and we can't go shopping because how dare her want to be warm for a month. But she'll be back the end of January. And we're leaving here in a couple of weeks. So, you know, I can't say much. though she has said over and over, come down. And last year we wanted to, except I got so sick with before I knew what the alpha-gal was. And so we didn't make it. And then this year we're selling the house. Next year we're wanting to do Mexico for like 10 days. Go and just stay. Greg's got a cousin that does that each winter. And she's invited us to come with us, and we think that would be fun. And by getting rid of the house, we feel like we can. Now, we'll still go down because periodically, probably not every year. I should probably, I don't even remember which one of these is which now. Oops. I use them interspersively because, like I said, I can't tell the difference. To me, these get darker than Vintage Photo, and I like that darkness. But if all you have is Vintage Photo, go right ahead. If all you have is colored, it'd probably make them pretty, if you don't want the vintage look. I like vintage look now and then. I like the shabby chic. I'm not much on the modern. Now, once in a while I want a whimsical, but I'm not one for much of the modern stuff. It's just, I don't dislike it. I'm just not one to do that. Though I have noticed that people in the creative journaling family seem to do more of the modern, but I think that's because we're talking about our day, and so that's modern. So but I don't have stuff for that. I don't have, I have a camera, I have my hot tea, I have a purse stamp and a teapot. So I'm still doing more writing than I am pictures. I need to get some magazines I can cut, but I don't even see many magazines in doctor's offices and stuff, because I would ask them what they do with their old ones. I know one time I was in the middle of an article. I was there forever. And so I told them, I said, can I take this home and bring it back when I finish? And she goes, yes, you may. Well, I took it back because she didn't say, well, keep it. I would have if she'd have said, sure, you can keep it. And I couldn't tell you what the article was about. But isn't this fun? I just love these. Yesterday I made a bunch of masterboards, and I have gotten rid of almost all my scraps. It's crazy, and I want to do another scrap buster today, and I will. Wouldn't bother me at all if I came back to hardly any scraps, but I'm a scrap buster. I can't handle having, I'm not OCD. I used to be. My house looked like that you're getting ready for a magazine snapshot. It was that clean, the whole bit. And when we went to Florida, I was a slave to my house and a slave to my flower beds. And when we went to Florida, I was driving a car. My husband was driving a truck with a trailer. And on the way down, I was thinking, I am not going to be a slave to my house in Florida. Well, it took a couple of years, and then Greg made the comment. He said, you know, you could be a little more of a slave. Now, I do not like a lot of clutter unless it's my clutter. But it's not pristine either. I mean, but like my craft desk, when I leave my craft desk, it's pretty tidy. I mean, this is messy because I'm in the middle of a project, but I wouldn't, unless I wasn't done with the project, I wouldn't leave it this way. Oh, I forgot those. Okay. Now, I am going to, I think, kind of do the same on some of these. Now, some of these are maybe already the other day, sorry about my reach, I was putting Tim Holtz things on music paper. Look at all these now I have. That crazy? And I still have more to do, and I still have more music paper, you know, I can use, but I was going to run out of room to put it. Now, some of these are too long, so they're probably not going to get to go on the tag, but, you know, they'll be inked. So, and if I need others, I will. Sold a recliner. The lady came. I didn't clean up my sewing spot, and it was like, oh, Kathy. So I can get messy. Don't let me fool you. But I do like it tidy. That's my word, tidy. When you walk in, it looks lived in, but it's tidy. You know, my dishes are done, my floors are swept, and blankets are folded. But nobody's going to think I'm OCD. That's for sure. All right, so I thought I would keep these fairly simple. I'm gonna put, oh, where do I want to pour these? I need a jar lid, and I just got rid of those. So I guess I can just use this little bowl. It's empty. And let me get tweezers. Okay. Now, I don't want that blue. I don't think. But I do have to cut this. Sometimes I can tear it, sometimes I can't. But my hands right now are not helpful. See, I'm thinking, here this says, do what you love. I need my glue. Do what you love. Wonder if I've got, I can't get to them right now. They're downstairs in a closet, but I wonder if there's some old photos down there I could use on these, because I think an old photo down here would look neat. But we're not going to get that far because I don't know what kind of journal I'm going to do these in. I don't know what kind of string I want to put in that. I've got I don't know if this has anything I want to use. It might. that shoe's too big. But see, I could put like an old phone on there. I could put a stamp. These were on the back of scrapbook paper and I fussy cutted them out. That's too big. See, these are too big. I might want to use that lady. I don't know that I do. See, I've been nice and good and kept these all in this nice pretty bag, and now look at me go. Ooh, I don't mind that. What about a book? Could do something like that. But I feel like I need to rough it up a little. You know, like the book's been through a pocket. And then, what would I want to put? See, I can make messes, see that? I'm good at making messes. Should watch me cook. Although when I cook, I like that. Okay. I think this is going to be a good way to use some of my Tim Holtz fabric. And pull some of that out and do some of those. All right. What you think? Very fun to do. Easy. You will notice I don't do anything difficult. My brain doesn't. Never has worked that way, even, What do I want to use at the top? I'm just looking down here. I have a drawer of fabric and pieces of lace, and I'm seeing if there's anything in it. Here's some fabric. Let's pull out. Here's some coffee dyed fabric. That's some old, I think it's Gunny Sack. Don't quote me. Here's some Tim Holtz. I think that may be Tim Holtz. I'm not sure. Here's need to coffee dye some of those. Here we go. This is what I'm thinking. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. All that. See what I did? I mixed up my numbers, made my things here with my music paper. But you know what? If I need more music paper, we all know where that's it, don't we? I just heard my husband. They're done trapping. Okay. Now, what can I get? And now I'm just going to glue those little pages to the tag this time, because that's so short. I could staple them, but you know, I'm not a big stapling fan. I do, don't get me wrong, but just and there we go. I think those are cute. Now let's get, like I said, I'm not going to sit you through all of these while I do them. Nobody's got time for that. You got time, you know, somebody's got to find time to do the dishes, or I'm not today. I baked chicken last night, so I have leftovers. My husband will probably eat either some of my chicken, which is fine, or he'll fix deer or some kind of beef that I can't have. And I want to make several videos today. I'm hoping to get several made so that while I'm in Florida, I can't be forgotten. Just because, like I said, I'm going to do these all fairly alike, just for now, and then I can now edit my emails. I mean, my videos. I am so appreciative to all of you that have put up with these videos that I was unable to edit, and you're going to see some later in January because I was kind of spacing them out. But I don't want people to forget me now that I'm back. That would be awful to be forgotten. And I know we all can be replaced. That's set by our friends and family, so I thought I would go ahead and that kind of grounds that, doesn't it? Now, because we're all different, I know that you all could come up with different, and I'd love to see them. If you do and you put them on Instagram or make a video doing them. I'd love to see what you came up with. And lace would probably be cute on these. I'm just glad I remembered how to make them. And I appreciate the lady or girl, whoever it was, that first posted these, because I'm gonna let that hang. I don't know if I want a bow or not, so I'm just gonna let it hang for now. And now we've got 2. And so let's make one more. It's too big. Today is a good day. Yes, it is so far. It's been a good one. I didn't get up till 8:30, and my husband thought that was kind of early for me. And yeah, I don't sleep well at night. So like last night, I didn't go to bed till after 1. Then I lay there for about 30 to 40 minutes. This is on sleeping medicine. This is on hot tea that's to help you sleep. This is, yeah, this is not, excuse me. Need to do some sewing today or this week. Let me see if I can, some scrap paper. I've even got some washi tape I could put on this, but I don't know that it would stick very well to all the little wrinkles and stuff. I could stick it on, the paper, but the letters are upside down. The teacher in me, that bugs. And see, this is all those little pieces. That's all I got left. Amazing, isn't it? I did put some of this kind of paper in the vintage dyed paper. And I put some in something else. I'm trying to think what it was. You gotta glue and think, and I'm not always real good at gluing and thinking, and I don't even see my paper towel. So we'll use our finger. And then what else did I do with some? I did a whole bunch. Oh, numbers. I stamped numbers yesterday. And put those on a lot of those music pieces, and got rid of a lot of those. And that's fine. Life is good here. Let's see if I put that here. Or here, I could let this go across it, couldn't I? Yeah, we'll do that instead of fabric on there. Something a little different. And I used up a lot of paper, and I'm going to use that more today. Like I said, I hope to make several videos today. And one's going to be with some vellum and doilies and music paper, that kind of stuff. And so oh, there we go. What do you think? Now I need to use some of this travel fabric because it's got the black in it. You'll hear it rip here in a minute, but I don't think you need to see that. I don't want to mess all this up again. Okay. Need to ravel this all out. I'm hoping you get some crafting time in today, or if you're doing your January cleaning and sorting or organizing, hope you get some of that done today if you want to. Whatever is on your plan today. Okay, I'm going to try tying this in a bow and see how. You know, now that I think about it, I don't know if this travel is 10 holds. So, but if it's not, I'm sorry. You know, I can't remember what it is. I got these, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe not. Trying to remember if it was before or after my coma. There we go. So, I'm gonna put a little more glue under that Life is Good. So I've got this one. I've got this one. And I have this one. And I am going to leave you there. Please let me know what one you like best. And I'll make maybe some more of those. You may like the tie on one, the picture on the other, or something like that. That's fine too. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you would. I'd appreciate it if you'd like this video, and I would really appreciate it if you remembered you have a purpose. Bye for now.